Alright guys, I hope you're well. It's Sam here, back again with another guitar tutorial. So today I'm going to be running through some ways that I like to embellish chords which could sound a little bit boring, like your open chords, and how I like to change these up a little bit, just to give them a little bit more flavor. So let's get started with the C chord. So the standard C open chord in the first position. Absolutely nothing wrong with this chord, great chord. But a way that I like to play this chord is to play the C add 9. So we basically bring the fret 1 up to the D here on the 3rd fret, and then we put a G. Instead of the open, we play a G. So we've got still got the first two notes, but then we've got the up here. So it goes from 2. It just gives it more of like an airy vibe, but without being too kind of dramatic. And I like to use the D and the G up here. Go from the C, you can drop it down to the B, down to the G, down to the F sharp, and then E minor, back to the B, C, and then you can even go down to the A. So you can see just by having these, you can transition the root note of the chords, and you can have these, the D and the G, just playing over the top, and it can be a really nice way to glue these chords together as a way of connecting them. So yeah, I really love the C add 9. It's one of my favorite chords to play. Normal C, C add 9. Try it out. So then we have our B major chord in this position, 2nd fret, the A string position. But then we can also play it up here with that E major shape on the 7th fret. So instead of the B major chord, I like to play the B add 11 chord. Now this chord sounds like this. If you do have small hands, it can be a bit of a stretch, but it just adds a little bit of dissonance. But I just love how this chord sounds. Go from the B major, nothing wrong with that. It sounds nice and bright and major, but just to add that dissonance in there, it just gives it a nice bit of flavor. Love the B add 11. Try it out. So we have an A minor, but why not give it a little bit more mystery and darkness and flavor by playing an A minor 9. Another really dissonant chord, but I just love how it sounds. It's got a nice kind of like shimmer to it. It's got like a little uplifting note at the end with the A on the end there, finishing on the root note of the A. Definitely not a chord that I would use in every setting, but in certain circumstances, a really, really cool one to use. A minor, A minor, A minor 9. Lovely chord. And then you have your A major chord, one of the most popular chords in music. Got the open chord or the bar chord. Instead of the A major, you can play the A11. A great alternative to A major. This is what it sounds like. You can even throw in the open A. So from A major to your A11. Got a nice mysterious kind of sound to it. So then we have the G major chord. Now the G major chord, absolutely nothing wrong with it, but I tend to play the G major chord with that D there, just like how I play the C add 9. But then I move the root note and the open E down to the G and the B. So to make it a G chord, but with the D and the G up here. And to me, adding that, to me, it sounds more full, it sings more, rather than having that open note there. Rather than having the B, the open B, having that, it just lifts the chord more. And I definitely prefer how it sounds with that added D. Of course, D is already in. We're just doubling up the D. We have the open string D, and then we have the D here. We have the B here. So rather than having the B twice, we have the D twice. So that's just something personal. I prefer how it sounds, but you might disagree. And then there's also the G major add 11, or you could call it fourth as well. You've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a C. So instead of playing the B, you play a C. And this has more of a tense sound. It sounds kind of unresolved and suspended. If you want to resolve it after that, it can be like a nice little passing note. It can be like the connecting chord in between a chord change. So yeah, I love the G major add 11 there. And it's very simple to do. You got your normal G major. You just add the first fret on the B string. Yeah, nice little variation of G there. So something I also like to really use in chord progressions is open strings. So combining like power chords and bar chords, but with letting certain strings ring out. So I'll play a simple A major chord, but then I'll let the top two strings ring out. And this makes it an A major 9. I just really love how these two, I think it sounds so gorgeous. I just love that combination of notes compared to. This sounds very bright and clean. It sounds a bit more, it just has a bit more magic and mystery to it. Okay. And we can do the same on the, take it to the B major. We'll just play the B, we'll play the F sharp, and then we'll play the B again. But instead of barring it, we're gonna leave the top two strings open. Again, okay? And this is a B major 6th chord. Again, it gives it that really nice, open, jazzy kind of sound to it. There's something powerful about leaving those strings to ring out. It just resonates really beautifully. And then you can bring that up to the C sharp, the same shape. And then you've got the C sharp 11. Such a beautiful sounding chord. I love how all three of these work together. You have the, so simple to play, but they just sound amazing with those open strings ringing out. And then something you can do is go from the A major, you can actually bring that up to the B major. It's kind of like a B add 11, I think. You still have the top, the open strings ringing out. So you have the A, the B, the C sharp, down to the B, and then you've got the B up here as well. And then you could finish up on the E to resolve it. So let's go through the final progression. So this was a progression used as the album intro in my old band Actions to Onslaught. And this was an instrumental that I wrote I wanted it to be clean, cinematic, build up to, like, we're a metal band, so I wanted it to build up to be this big drop and just to create loads of kind of like an epic ambient build up. Okay, so we're playing around with this A chord variation. Okay, so we've got the D, we've got D here, open D, and then we've got fretted D, and then we've got the F, and then we've got the A. So D, D, F, A. All right. Here I also make use of the open strings ringing out. So we've got the high E on the 5th note of the G there. But if you let this ring open, this turns into a sus2. If you fret the high E on the 5th fret, so we've got the A major chord variation, then we have an A sus2. And then if you play the A fret, so I go between the A major, the sus2, and then this is a major 7. Just by moving my index finger from the 5th fret to the open to the 8th fret. So we've got the So I think it went, so on the album it went like. Yeah, something like that. And then I moved down to this voicing, which is basically a C minor chord, which is the pinky on the 6th fret of the high E. And then we've got these barred, 3, 3, 3. Okay. Technically it is a C minor, just with a different voicing. So we go from the C minor, moving our pinky down here, technically gives us a B flat major 6th. We've got the B flat and the G. We've got the A on the high E, we've got a D on the B, we've got a B flat, and then we've got an F, which gives us a B flat major 6th chord. Beautiful sounding chord. And then we have this C7 dominant. You can add the C sharp on the B string as well. So this C7 dominant has a very kind of jazzy voicing. Lovely chord, used a lot in funk, reggae, soul music. Yeah. And then finish up on the D minor. Okay. So altogether it's okay. So the use of open strings, just changing one note per chord, really helps tie into the next chord that I'm about to play. And a lot of these chords aren't conventional, just your standard open chords. They're, you know, like 7ths, 11ths, 9ths. But these little changes in the chord note and the voicing gives it a completely different flavor and allows me to express what I want to say and conveys the emotion that I want to convey in the music. So yeah, have a play around with these. Maybe you'll be able to use some of these yourself in your own music. And I think they're a beautiful way to start experimenting with creating your own sound and creating music which is unique and different. Hopefully this video helped. If it did help, hit subscribe and hit the thumbs up button. Comment below what you found helpful and if you can apply it to your own music. So hope you enjoyed. See you on the next one. Peace.